Okay, went to a shop in Selden that I've been going to a long time. I've been visiting my daughter in Long Island, which is not a real place. There's no zip code, area code. State of New York, sure. Anyways, I got a cigar here with a full pack. Nice looking wrapper. Can't get the sun in here. And a little piggy cap. Now, what's the deal with this? Well, it's listed as a house cigar in that shop, which why the fuck would I buy that? And at $12.99, why would I buy that? Well, New York $12.99 is like $6 PA at a store. But still, why would I buy this piece of shit and ruin my drive home? Especially going to the Bronx. Well, I've known the shop a long time. And what did they tell me? That this is a Davidoff cigar unbanded. He said that the father who passed a while ago had a lot of workings with Davidoff, buying a lot of their product a long time, and he was tight with the reps, and so that shop does do a lot of volume. And so they had like 4 different sizes, and the wrapper color was had some variety in the differences. But he says it's Davidoff tobacco, like either mixture of surplus or basically stuff that didn't, like overrun, stuff that didn't pass the cut, for final inspection, which, Davidoff has a lot of quality control. And since they didn't make the cut for final inspection, they wouldn't put a Davidoff band on it. But, I guess this wasn't good enough for Davidoff. I don't know. Now, here's the thing. It sounds like a nice story, and I want to believe it. And then he sells the bundles even cheaper. You get, 20 of them, and you get 40% off. So you do the math on that. You're going to get what? Basically 20 for like maybe $8 a stick. Now, once again, this is factoring New York price point. Okay. So this is like a limited review of two situations. New York price and because I'd have to reverse the actual, there's no MSRP on this, so I'd have to reverse what it would cost in Pennsylvania. So just give or take, if it's 13 at a store, probably 6 or 7. 6, 7.
In 2 miles, take exit S1 west to merge onto I-495 west toward New York.
All right, now shut up, bitch. But thank you. Honestly, it doesn't look like a bad cigar. It doesn't feel like a bad cigar. I smelled the foot. It was like a sweet and a high-pitched floral note, made me sneeze. I know nothing about it. He says, though, that he believes it is a late hour, a Davidoff Churchill late hour without a band. Obviously, I don't think the late hour comes with that. So that kind of hurts. Well, and he did compare. He had a late hour there, and the wrappers were exactly the same color. I mean, they look exactly the same. So maybe, I don't fucking know. This is gonna have to be some detective work here. But the bottom line is this: if it's even just a great cigar, or decent, or good, well, I'm gonna have to look at it as like a $6, $7 Pennsylvania, or a $13 New York, if that makes any sense. Looking in the choach there, doesn't look bad. The feel in the hand doesn't look bad. Oily, dark looking wrapper. So let me cut this up and let's get the hell out of New York. Off the bat, it's fucking good. I can't lie. It doesn't taste like a piece of shit house cigar. That being said, we just got it started. Sometimes with a crappy cigar, they can be good for 5 or 10 minutes, and all of a sudden the lie is over. So we'll see. They could have front loaded that cigar with maybe some decent tobacco folded up. And then all of a sudden, it gets past that, they do a little trick. The draw is perfect. It is very smooth, a very easy open draw, but pulling very nice. I can't confirm that it's Davidoff overruns, but here's the thing. It's not that much of a stretch, because back in the day, there was a cigar called the Davidoff 3x3, which Davidoff did sell overruns. I know it's not make-believe that they do it. The question is, he's saying he's the only. He has multiple shops. They sell a lot of value. He says he has one of the biggest selections in Long Island in Northport. Anyways, so maybe I know he sells a lot of volume. They've been there forever. And those Davidoff 3x3s, those were the best bundle cigars because we were paying $3 a stick. We were getting $27 for a 9-pack of tubos. There were 9 tubos that came in like cellophane. Like the tubos was nine of them, and it was wrapped in plastic, the whole thing. And they were like under $30. And basically, they came like in 2 sizes, like a Corona and a booster. And there truly was a Davidoff white label tobacco, but it was made by their entry rollers, and it was basically practice cigars for them. So the thing about the tobacco, they said it was ungraded, meaning it wasn't everything done exactly to spec and perfect as they would on their white band, but the same tobacco, and it wasn't flawless looking wrappers, but the construction quality was very good enough for me. And for $3 to get Davidoff tobacco by an early roller tobacco roller for Davidoff, I had no problem with that. Fast forward 10 years later, this is not a piece of shit at all. Now, I don't want my eyes or my mouth, no diddy, to deceive me. Because the question is, I don't want to be like blind to this and go, well, it's probably fake, so it's going to taste like shit. But at the same time, I don't want to get too excited that there's a place on Long Island that's got Davidoff tobacco rolled by Davidoff, just with no band, and they're backdooring a way to defeat MSRP tax and everything else. Because $13 for any Davidoff, and this is a Toro, this is like a 6x54. Maybe 52, maybe 54. Maybe 52, but a full pack. So this is a big cigar for Davidoff. To get any Davidoff Toro for $13, and especially in New York. Now we're getting to is, if it's real, this is a great deal. What am I getting? Creamy chocolate, nutty, black pepper. Slightly earthy. So I don't, what exactly tobacco is this? I can't tell you. But like as of right now, perfect construction. I got the phone mounted. We're doing this all safe. I could say that this is very enjoyable. So at 13 New York, which is $6 or $7 PA, I took a chance on this. I took a risk, not only on the price. I took a risk of when I have a shitty cigar on the ride back to Pennsylvania, that ruins my life in that moment. I live one cigar at a time, and when your last cigar was a piece of shit, your life's over. Cigars are kind of like women. Like I'm never gonna stop liking women. I'm never gonna stop liking cigars. But if your last cigar was a piece of shit, it might affect you at the in between, and it might affect your next cigar or next relationship. I digress. Creaminess, a creamy sweetness lingering on the back of the tongue there. No diddy. This was a risk. Now there's multiple sizes. I might have to try a different size. They had like a longer one in this and skinnier. Leathery, creamy, nutty, chocolatey, black pepper. If it was a Davidoff, meaning it wouldn't be my favorite Davidoff, Because I don't think, I'm sure maybe the blend is not exactly the same, or who knows what the fuck. If it's basically one-offs, maybe, you know, it could be a combination of just, hey, when they have extra tobacco left over, and they just, for time's sake too, they're just throwing cigars together with extra material. Nothing wrong with that. You might get a slightly different experience every time. But as far as construction and everything, I got nothing bad to say about it. The draw reminds me of that. The draw is effortless. The draw is perfect. I'll say this. That's the best draw I've ever got for a house cigar. The draw on this thing, it's like, it's marvelous. Now we'll let this build up and see how the flavor goes. But so far, I'm not like blowing out my chocha. Remember, this is a house cigar. This can hang out with regular mid-tiered, upper mid-tier cigars. As far as the flavor, we'll see how that develops. But the construction's perfect. The draw is fantastic, and 13 for New York is cheap. Because New York is groping people's wallets. I was seeing rare pinks for $60. Padron 26s for $38. Just damaging. A little floral, but a little more spice coming in too. You get nice complexity, probably because it's probably a mix of a bunch of different tobacco. It's probably not even consistent. They just threw shit together. If these are overruns, I mean, it's a nice looking wrapper. It really is. It's a nice looking wrapper. But if these are like overruns, because the main thing of the other Davidoff, the overruns, was it was ungraded tobacco, meaning whatever extra surplus they had, they slapped cigars together. And it is what it is. It's not bad. I'll come back. Into the cigar, I did have a little wrapper popping. No Diddy, we're not talking about a P. Diddy party getting your cheeks popped. The draw construction is very good. Now the cigar popping towards the middle, anything could cause that. I've had cigars from bands popping, you know, damaging the wrapper. There was no band on this. So what would cause this to pop? I've seen more expensive cigars pop, you know, after lighting. So I'm not going to take a major hit on that because the cigar is smoking so well. But I don't know. Could that be a construction issue? It didn't happen right away. It happened more towards the middle. So who knows? Maybe it hit a stem there with one side and pushed out. Possibly. But overall,
in 2 miles, take exit 33 to merge onto I-295 toward Throggs Neck Bridge.
Thanks a lot, bitch. Go make me a sandwich. Overall, I could recommend it. But I would say... about 15 minutes ago, those notes I was getting are kind of getting a little more flat, and whatever enjoyment and excitement that I was having on this cigar is diminishing. So, can I really recommend it? If I'm comparing it just to house cigars, it's a very good for a house cigar. But even at the price of 13, there's other mid-tier cigars I could smoke around the same, a little less, or maybe a little more, and I digress. So it's not a piece of shit at all, but the consistency of the flavor, like the cigar transition, but the cigar really transitioned to being like kind of boring. So you take for what it is. I think if you're getting this in a bundle in New York and you think you're getting a good deal for $8 a stick,
stay in the middle 2 lanes and go past this exit.
All right, the men are talking. But the thing is, if you think you're getting a good deal and it's smoking well, fine. But if you're actually smoking for flavor, it started off pretty good.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 33 to merge onto I-295 toward Throggs Neck Bridge.
All right, now go back in your box, bitch. In the end, for me, I wouldn't buy it again. Now, It's well made, and the draw is really nice. It's a really nice draw. I'll give you that credit. Well made construction. And for most people that don't understand or taste flavor, yeah, they're gonna go, wow, I'm in New York. It's a cheap price for New York. It's a big cigar. Oh, it's made by Davidoff. You know, I think they're using a lot of lower primings in the filler because it really went flat. In the beginning, because I've talked to cigar makers where they said they could front load a cigar, especially for bigger gauges, kind of give you a little more power in the beginning. They'll fold a piece of, scrap Lajero and stuff it in the beginning. That way when you light it up, it's kind of like, the old thing, put out the good wine
In
first.
about 2.5 miles, keep left onto Cross Bronx Expressway toward George Washington Bridge.
You give people the good wine first, you get them a buzz, and then you put out the cheap wine. So that's what, in my opinion, they did on this. They put in some stronger tobacco in the beginning, but they didn't want to put stronger, more expensive tobacco the whole way. Kind of front load it, and you're like, all right. And then it kind of went flat. And that's why those things happen, because of front loading. It's kind of like getting a job, and this guy's great, and then 2 months later he's a piece of shit. Or like, you're dating a girl, and the honeymoon, and everything's great, and then 2 years later she's fat.
In 2 miles, keep left onto Cross Bronx Expressway toward George Washington Bridge.
Yeah, and in 1 mile, shut the fuck up. So it's not a piece of shit. But because it went flat like that, I don't even care that the cigar popped. I don't even care. Because the cigar's still smoking fantastic. And we cruised right out of Queens. Doing great. Cruise right out of Queens. We're over the Throgs next bridge. And what a beautiful day. 60 degrees, sunny, windy, but I'll take it. Fuck the state of New York. Suck my cock. I got one more borough to go, and it's the worst. The motherfucking Bronx. If the Bronx was a body part, it'd be the colon. It'd be a blown out colon. Damaged. The Bronx should scare you. It scares me. The Bronx on its best case.
Use the left 3 lanes to keep left onto Cross Bronx Expressway toward George Washington Bridge.
On the best case, just get the fuck out of here. You could go to the Bronx Zoo. That's nice. That's almost like Westchester. You could go to what's that, Arthur Avenue, get some nice seafood, whatever. Go there during the day, and then get the fuck out of there by, like, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock. Don't stay there at night.
Keep left.
The draw is good, so if you don't understand flavor...
In about 6.5 miles, keep left onto Trans-Manhattan Expressway toward George Washington Bridge upper level.
Anything else? If you don't understand flavor, wow, a smooth draw. It's smoking well. Fantastic. But no, for me, I wouldn't buy it again. 4.2. 4.2. If it would have kept on going like the beginning, could have been a 4.5, but it went flat. 4.2. Good construction. The way this thing is drawing, it could be a Davidoff product, but just because it's a Davidoff product, if they're using really low priming stuff, so when you make a blend of cigar, any blend, there's different types of tobacco primings, and they have a mixture of stuff depending how they want to push the flavor. So in a sense, picture like the same car with the 80...
Stay in the 2nd or 3rd lane from left.
All right. Anyways, it felt flat. They went like with 85 octane. You should have done at least 89, and it would have pushed this. You understand what I'm saying? The lower priming tobacco is larger, it's cheaper, and it's not exciting. I didn't hate the cigar. It started off pretty good, and then it just kind of went flat. So I'm going to leave it at that. Well made, smooth, that will leave you flat. Like most marriages. They start off okay, and then they fucking leave you flat. Bored. How the fuck do I get out of this? Why did I do this? Well, I'm glad I didn't buy a bundle of this. On that note, I'll see everyone around. You stay fresh. We're in the fucking Bronx. Knock on wood, we're cruising right through the fucking Bronx. A piece of shit that it is. I spoke too fucking soon. Son of a bitch. Brake lights. Bronx River Parkway. Typical. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I probably don't buy this cigar. No cigars in prison. No cigars in the fucking Bronx. Oh, shit. This is like a really dark fucking tunnel here.